Stories are everywhere. We hear them, read them, and watch them. We tell stories to our friends and family. Stories are a powerful way to share information and ideas. Humans have been telling stories for a very long time. Cave paintings from thousands of years ago show stories of hunts and battles. Stories help us understand the world around us. They teach us about different cultures and ways of life. Stories can make us laugh, cry, and think. They help us connect with other people who share our experiences. When we hear a story, we imagine ourselves in the character's shoes. Stories have the power to change our minds and hearts. They can inspire us to be better people. Stories help us make sense of our own lives. When we hear a good story, our brains react in a powerful way. Our brains release hormones like dopamine and oxytocin. These hormones make us feel happy and connected. Stories activate different parts of our brains. When we hear about a character's actions, our brains react as if we are doing those actions ourselves. We feel empathy for the characters, even if they are fictional. Stories help us learn and remember information. When facts are presented in a story format, we are more likely to remember them. This is because stories engage our emotions and make learning more enjoyable. Stories can also change our behavior. When we hear stories about people who are kind and helpful, we are more likely to act that way ourselves. Stories have the power to inspire us to make positive changes in our lives. There are many different types of stories. Some stories are fictional, meaning they are made up. Fictional stories include novels, movies, and TV shows. Other stories are non-fictional, meaning they are based on real events. Non-fictional stories include biographies, memoirs, and news articles. Myths and legends are special types of stories. They often explain natural phenomena or cultural beliefs. Myths and legends are passed down through generations. They teach us about the history and values of a culture. Fairy tales are another type of story. They often feature magical creatures and teach us moral lessons. Fairy tales can be found in cultures all over the world. Section 4. The impact of different stories. Different types of stories affect us in different ways. Fictional stories can help us explore different worlds and perspectives. They allow us to experience things we might never encounter in real life. Fictional stories can also teach us about different cultures and time periods. Non-fictional stories can teach us about real people and events. They can help us understand the complexities of the world around us. Non-fictional stories can also inspire us with stories of courage, resilience, and hope. Myths and legends connect us to our cultural heritage. They teach us about the beliefs and values that are important to our communities. Myths and legends can also provide a sense of wonder and awe. Fairy tales teach us important life lessons. They show us the importance of courage, kindness, and perseverance. Fairy tales can also help us understand our own emotions and motivations. Section 5. The power of stories in our world. Stories are all around us. They shape our understanding of the world. We see stories in the news, in advertisements, and in our social media feeds. Powerful people use stories to influence us. Politicians use stories to win votes. Companies use stories to sell products. It is important to be aware of the ways stories can be used to persuade us. Stories can build bridges between cultures. By sharing our stories, we can learn to understand and appreciate each other better. Stories can help us overcome prejudice and build a more just and compassionate world. Section 6. Why we can't resist a good story. Humans are hardwired for stories. Our brains are naturally drawn to narratives. Stories help us make sense of the world. They allow us to experience emotions safely. Stories provide entertainment and escape. They can transport us to other worlds and introduce us to fascinating characters. A good story can make us forget our troubles for a while. Stories connect us to something bigger than ourselves. They remind us that we are not alone in our experiences. Stories give us hope and inspiration. They teach us that anything is possible.